I really appreciate you joining me today, and we've got a lot of news to get through. Some of this is breaking news and others are updates to other stories. The first story is about 10 people that were injured at Huntingdon train station in Cambridgeshire at 6:25pm. The train was going from Doncaster to London King's Cross, and police immediately attended after they received reports of multiple stabbings on board the train. Armed police arrived from Cambridgeshire and boarded the train and arrested 2 men in 8 minutes of the 999 call being made. The 2 men remain in police custody. A 33-year-old man who has been described as a black British national and a 35-year-old man who has been described as a British national of Caribbean descent. They were both arrested on suspicion of attempted murder and were both born in the UK. They remain in police custody for questioning. 10 people were taken to hospital by the ambulance service, and another person self-presented at a hospital later that evening. While 9 of them were initially believed to have life-threatening injuries, following assessment and treatment, 4 of them were discharged and 2 patients remain in a life-threatening condition. The police declared it a major incident yesterday, and counter-terrorism police were then involved to support the investigation. However, at this stage, there is nothing to suggest that they believe it's a terrorist incident. British Transport Police are investigating, and they continue to try to establish the full circumstances and also the motivation for the incident. At this early stage, it would not be appropriate, they said, to speculate on the case and also the reasons why. The station remains closed, and they expect trains to be passing through the station from this morning, but passengers will see a high visibility presence of police officers at the stations and on trains throughout today. They are there to reassure the public and respond to any concerns. So this is a fast developing story, and we'll definitely keep you updated on this, and we hope that everybody makes a full recovery. Please don't forget to subscribe if you're new to the channel. And in some other news, and it relates to a triple stabbing that took place on the 27th of October 2025. Police were called at 5pm to Midhurst Gardens in Uxbridge following reports that 3 people had been stabbed. Metropolitan Police attended the scene alongside the London Ambulance Service that treated 3 victims at the scene for stab injuries. A 49-year-old man was treated for stab wounds, and despite the best efforts of emergency services, he sadly died at the scene. His next of kin have been informed and have been supported by specially trained police. A 22-year-old man was arrested at the scene on suspicion of murder and attempted murder, and he remained in police custody. Chief Superintendent Jill Horsfall, who is leading the investigation in Uxbridge, said, "This is a shocking and senseless act of violence that has left 1 man dead and 2 others injured. Our thoughts are with the victim's family and friends at this unimaginably difficult time. The incident will understandably have caused concern to the local community, and we have deployed multiple police officers in the local area to reassure everybody. They understand that there is going to be a lot of speculation online and following this incident, and please to not share any footage of the murder. Some of the footage has made it online where it shows the incident unfolding and a man being stabbed multiple times. A 45-year-old man and a 14-year-old boy were also treated at the scene for stab wounds before being taken to hospital. The man's injuries were confirmed to be life-changing but not life-threatening, and the boy's injuries were not life-threatening or life-changing. The investigation then followed. Thank you to Dave Nathan for his coverage from the scene and the developments as they've took place. The latest update in this story is that Metropolitan Police have charged a 22-year-old man following the triple stabbing in Uxbridge that left 1 man dead. Safi Dawood, 22 years old from Midhurst Gardens, Uxbridge, was charged with murder, 2 counts of attempted murder and possession of an offensive weapon on Wednesday the 29th of October 2025. He appeared in court on the 30th of October. The man who died at the scene has also been identified as 49-year-old Wayne Broadhurst. His family has been supported by specially trained police. Neither the victim or the suspect were known to each other before this. Safi Dawood was remanded in custody following his appearance on the 30th of October. And the Home Office confirmed the suspect entered the UK in a lorry in November 2020 and was granted asylum and leave to remain in 2022 and does not live in Home Office accommodation. We would definitely follow this story and keep you updated on anything to do with it, and rest in peace to Wayne and my condolences to his friends and family. In this next update, a teenager has been convicted of murdering a boy on New Year's Eve. Aris Lloyd Hall, who has now just turned 18, has been convicted of murdering 16-year-old Harry Pitman, who was stabbed to death in Primrose Hill on New Year's Eve. Aris Lloyd Hall from Westminster was found guilty of murder at the Old Bailey on the 29th of October 2025. He was brought to justice after the Metropolitan Police linked DNA at the scene to Lloyd Hall. Harry was attacked and stabbed in the neck when he was celebrating New Year's Eve with friends at around 20 to 12 on the 31st of December 2023. Detective Inspector Daniel Catmull from the Metropolitan Crime Command said Harry was 16 years old when he was stabbed, and he spent the evening with friends enjoying the fireworks before an altercation with a complete stranger led to him losing his life. New Year's Eve is meant to be about new beginnings and fresh opportunities, but sadly Harry's family will now be marking this event by remembering how he was taken from them. Detectives investigating his murder established that Aris had attended Primrose Hill with his friends. None of them were known to Harry, and shortly before the fatal attack, Harry and a member of the other group are believed to have accidentally bumped into each other, and this was the start of an exchange of words. This then developed into a fight before Harry was stabbed once in the neck. Harry made his way towards police who were policing the event, and they immediately provided first aid before paramedics arrived. Sadly, despite their best efforts, he died at the scene shortly before midnight. Aris Lloyd Hall fled the park with the knife that was used in the attack, later meeting up again with his friends. During a search of the scene, a sheath for the knife was found, and forensic analysis identified Aris's DNA on the sheath of the knife. Detectives obtained footage of the attack and moments before the stabbing from eyewitnesses. Images were also released as part of a proactive media appeal to identify those involved. Aris Lloyd Hall voluntarily attended Hammersmith Police Station and was arrested on suspicion of murder on the 4th of January 2024. In an interview, he admitted to being present but denied any involvement in the murder. He was charged on the 6th of January 2024 and he'd be sentenced at the same court on the 10th of November 2025.
So you understand what has gone on. Yeah. Your face has been released in the news under a murder investigation. Yeah. All right. So at this time of the moment, it's 1950. You are under arrest for murder. Okay.
So this story definitely goes to show the dangers that are posed when people go to parties and carry weapons as well. They were seen going to the party on a bus, carrying this giant Rambo knife that can cause fatal injuries, and also consuming alcohol and balloons were also seen in videos taken at the party. So make sure to be careful when you're out and about during this Christmas and New Year's Eve period, and don't forget to subscribe if you're new to the channel. Rest in peace to Harry Pitman. In this next story, it's about a murder that took place in King's Cross Station in 2024. Anthony Marks was 51 years old and he was beaten to death by teenagers who took selfies shortly after the murder. This was used by the court to put them at the scene of the crime. Anthony Marks was hit by a car bonnet before being chased down, stamped on and beaten with a gin bottle in a vicious county lines retribution attack. They said in court the three teenagers were drug runners and this was related to the motive. He was found by the Metropolitan Police with serious injuries to his face and arms at King's Cross Station at around 5:25 a.m. on Saturday the 10th of August 2024. He died from his injuries in hospital on Saturday the 14th of September the same year. Photos from the night showed the teenagers, who can now be named after they've turned over 18, posing for selfies before and after they carried out the brutal murder. Metropolitan Police secured the conviction after tracking the assailants across CCTV footage, identifying suspects from across London and tracing the drug gang through forensic analysis of mobile phones to piece together the events of the night. J.D. Bingham, 16 years old at the time of the attack and he was known as Ghost, and Ayimaya Lee Bradshaw McCoy, then aged 16, and Maya Jorge, who then was aged 17 years old, were convicted at the Old Bailey on the 30th of October 2025. Bingham was found guilty of murder, McCoy was found guilty of manslaughter, and Jorge was found guilty of manslaughter by majority verdicts. Detective Inspector Jim Barry from the Metropolitan Crime North, who led the investigation, said, "This was a particularly callous murder that gives an insight into the ruthless brutality of county lines drug gangs. The ages of those involved are particularly shocking, but the fact they were teenagers does not excuse the violent actions as part of a drug line that they fought with fear and intimidation. They believed that they had escaped justice, even posing for selfies afterwards and laughing about what they had done. There is a sense of justice for the families and the police who were able to use this to put them at the scene of the crime." The verdict shows how the Metropolitan Police is taking the fight against criminal gangs, and they are committed to getting justice for victims. Bingham, McCoy and Jorge started work for the County Lines gang on the evening of Friday the 9th of August. After one of the girls was robbed, Bingham was tasked with finding out who had done it. They believe Mr. Marks knew what had happened and confronted him at 5 a.m. on Saturday the 10th of August. After an altercation, he was chased from Argyle Street to Widbourne Street by Bingham and Bradshaw, with CCTV showing Bradshaw McCoy wielding a long object, believed to be a car bumper. In the brutal attack, Mr. Marks was repeatedly kicked and hit over the head with a glass bottle, and they only left when a member of the public chased them away with a cricket bat. Police found Mr. Marks covered in blood at King's Cross Station later that morning after he stumbled into the transport hub looking for help. Metropolitan Police were able to interview Marks and use CCTV to create a detailed picture of the night and where the attack took place. In the following days, they located the teenagers at their homes across South, North and East London, and they seized their mobile phones. Images and videos placed them together at an apartment streets from the scene, with messages between them appearing to reference the incident. Officers were then able to secure footage that tracked them down to the apartment building, and this led to the conviction. Bingham was arrested on the 4th of October 2024 and was charged with murder on the 6th of October. Bradshaw McCoy was arrested on the 28th of October and charged with murder on the 29th of October. Jorge was arrested on the 9th of December and was charged with murder on the same day. The jury could not reach a decision in relation to Harry Gittins, 36 years old, from King's Cross. He was charged with murder, but a further hearing will take place on Wednesday the 5th of November at the Old Bailey. So really look forward to hearing what viewers have to say in that story, and please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe, and stay safe over this weekend. I'll be back again very shortly with some more news. Peace.